I'll just be casting off of your stream anyway. I'm just casting off of your stream. How many we got? Nice. Thanks, I actually would like that. So did you have fuel or don't have fuel? I'd like to see it. Brilliant. Not as bad as a kerfuffle as Bigles made. Not as bad of a kerfuffle as Bigles made yesterday. Okay, I see. So I see fuel for like an individual, but I don't know if I can switch people. Maybe it's. Hold on. Focus on a car. Oh wait, we're live, aren't we? Why? Practice? Oh. Nice. Can you hear me now? Is that better, or did I accidentally turn it off of the setting I'm supposed to be on? Okay, cool. All right. I say we come in when it hits 9, or rather, when practice ends. Yeah. Give me track map too.
FYI, we can
hi,
hear you
Greg.
guys on broadcast.
Oh, nice. Brilliant. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We go from the deserts of Southern California across the country and back in time as well to Legacy, Michigan International Speedway for our 6th round of the ARC Indycar Championship on iRacing. Or sorry, I guess this is our 7th round. Yeah, 7th round because we have a break next week. But we've run here several seasons, 1, 3, 4, and 5, and we've never had a repeat winner. Maybe we will today, but I am joined in the booth by my co-caster and our broadcaster as well, Alex Light. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right, Keegan. Pleasure to be back in the booth with you. Really excited to be coming at you guys from Michigan. Some really exciting racing in the past here for ARC. There's been plenty of great finishes here. So we're bound to have some great racing coming up tonight.
Well, I certainly hope so, and it's gonna be one of those things where we're kind of expecting a little bit of a fuel battle, but it shouldn't be too bad. Everyone's gonna need to take one. I don't expect anybody to try and to stretch extremely far, unless we get like a ton of yellows. But yeah,
Yeah, I mean I think it's going to be a little bit of a fuel stretch. The big thing is making sure you have grip early on because of the track surface. It's an older track surface. The tire wear is definitely going to play a big role into the race tonight.
well, we joined in on practice that is currently ongoing. Whole bunch of people haven't yet taken to the track, and everyone is. A bit of a small field tonight, only 17 drivers heading out on track. And currently, our fastest driver was Andrew Surwick, currently holding... Oh, no, never mind. I am looking at live data, and our live telemetry seems to be mucking itself up.
Yeah, it was not cooperating very well, so we're going to get that back up and running here in a moment, guys. But Andrew Surwick was in first. We'll get an update on that here in a moment. We should be.
Was this a bit of a slip up here? There we go. Tanner Long actually has the current fastest lap at a 32 point. That's still wrong. Andrew Surwick has the fastest lap at a 32.59. That's interesting. Unless he had
be... I don't know.
I do not know. I guess we'll find out when it comes time.
Yeah, when it comes time to grid, we will get that. Apologies for some reason. The live timing is just being a little stubborn today. Not sure why.
Yeah, because I'm seeing the same thing on live timing on the back end as well, showing that Andrew Surwick has a 32.6 actually, but Tanner Long has a 32.63 anyway. So, not entirely sure who's going to be the pole sitter then. Don't know if our timing is messing up, if that's an iRacing side of things, or if it's just an us thing. I would hope it's just an us thing.
I hope it is, but who knows? But we're taking a look now at Joseph DuPont. Comes in for his second lap. That's going to net him a 32.66. That's going to put him in 7th place. We still have a handful of drivers. Yeah, he just got his second lap. And we have a handful of drivers that have not put in a lap time. Some of those drivers being Christopher Norris, Brock Whiteman, Craig Bray, Gregory Shaw, and Cody Barrett.
Craig Bray is out on track right now. Hopefully trying to get a lap in. It looks like he's about to finish a lap. Maybe that'll be the way that goes. He kisses the wall. Is that going to cut his time off? Yes, it will.
Yeah, unfortunate for him as he's not going to be able to put a lap time in. So it looks like that might be our grid as we're closing up here on qualifying. And who knows the order of it, because for some reason, Andrew Surwick's lap time is faster than the two in front of him.
Unless there was a deleted lap time. Unless that lap time was deleted for some reason.
That very well could be the case. So let's take a look here at our starting lineup.
It does look like Andrew Surwick is gridding in P3. So it looks like his fastest lap time overall was deleted, potentially due to off track or kissing the wall or something of that nature. But you see it there, folks. Tanner Long going to take pole for here at Legacy Michigan International. RJ Conley going to be taking the outside of the front row. Only 5 milliseconds off of that. And Andrew Surwick only 9 milliseconds off of the top spot as well. And had it if he hadn't have gotten that lap time deleted. So That's massive, unfortunate for him. Charles Bertrand in P4 and Mark Feeney in P5.
Then in P6, we've got Jake Jackson, Joseph DuPont in 7th, Liam McNeil in 8th, DeAndre Young in 9th, and David McCourt rounding out the top 10. He's in 10th place.
He's never been the best qualifier, but he's always done well at these ovals. He's managed to work his way back up through the field. Matthew Rice as well, another one of the people in that same boat. Mark Harrison rounds out the top 12. Gregory Shaw is our first one who did not set a time in 13th. Brock Whiteman in 14th. Christopher Norris in 15th. Craig Bray in 16th. And Cody Barrett in 17th. That will round out our grid for today. The back five were not able to set times either due to incidents or maybe they didn't go out for the lap itself. But one pace lap and we'll be getting ready to go as this has turned into one heck of a championship season, and we're hoping it continues here with an exciting race at Michigan.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be some excitement. Those top guys separated by less than a hundredth of a second, which is really quite impressive when you look at it. I mean, those are numbers you see at like super speedways for stock cars. So it could be a very interesting fight to see the strategy, the line. Think back to Auto Club when you think Michigan International Speedway. There's like 6 different lines you can run here. The tracks are nearly identical, but the big difference for this race compared to Auto Club is the two differences: time of day and the racing surface. We had a night race at Auto Club, and this is a much older race surface. As we mentioned earlier, you can see the track has a little bit of wear and tear to it, and so that's definitely going to play into how the tires wear.
You said it yourself, an older track surface, it's going to grind them down pretty good. It's also going to be a bit slippery even at the beginning of the race, so expect to see some early incidents here, as we always see in ARC, but even more so with this one. Basically a guarantee at this point. So we are coming back around off of turn 4. The pace car will make a sharp left turn into the pits, and the field will be in the very capable hands of Tanner Long. He's going to hold him up, and away he goes as we get underway with the Apollo Racing Club iRacing Series, Apollo Racing Club IndyCar iRacing Series, Legacy Michigan International. 60 laps around this historic venue.
And off to a very quick start, Andrew Serwick already hunting him down, going for the lead into turn 3. He gets a great run down the backstretch, and it's going to have lots of room on the inside, so he should be able to get this move clean. But look out for Tanner Long to come back, because he's going to be in the draft and have the run off of turn 4.
Yeah, he actually had a huge run off of the top side there. There is so much advantage to be gained on the bottom, though. But it's going to be on Andrew to try and make it stick here through the top line. It's a bit harder to run the top line through 1 and 2 than it is through 3 and 4, as you can see by him ducking back down to the bottom.
Oh, we have one in the wall.
Right about mid-him. Oh, one in the wall, a bit further behind him. That would have been Joseph DuPont. Yep.
Yeah, he drops.
No caution
I
yet.
guess he parks it.
No caution yet. I don't know if that's going to bring one out.
Nah, it looks like it's going to be clear.
Oh.
He actually got the car, stayed on the wall, got the car off the track, and was clear. So we're still green here. Lap 3, the battle for the lead. Very, very close here early on, but there's lots of battles going on throughout the rest of the field as well.
Everyone's kind of straightening out into a bit of a single file line, though. Jumping out of line back here, though, is David McCourt as he looks to make a move into the top 10, into the top 9 on Liam McNeil.
Yeah, he's going for that inside line. Andrew Serwick made that work earlier. The one thing about that inside line, because you are having to force that car down there, it does wear the tires a little bit harder. Those right side tires for ovals always take a beating, and that really controls how much you can get the car into the corner and carry speed throughout. But you're already seeing David McCourt has to hold up a little bit because that car is getting a little loose. You see a wiggle coming out of turn 2.
Being super aggressive here will wear your tires very, very quickly. As looks like another one is getting ready to join the fray, potentially Brock Whiteman looking to get into the top 10. As now David McCourt threatened by Brock Whiteman.
Yeah, moving up just a little bit here. Battle for 6th place. Matthew Rice and Mark Feeney were going at it a little bit. But it looks like that may have settled out. But looking back, it looks like Brock Whiteman's going to get a 2-for-1 deal on the outside line. Makes a
There you go.
massive run.
Was looking for top 10, ends up with top 9. He has that car dialed in right now, looking to get into the top 8, as Charles Bertrand is the next one in the crosshairs. He's gonna make a move on the outside. He has him into 4 and out of 4, and he's gonna get it done across the start-finish line.
Man, he has got that outside line dialed in. Brock Whiteman is doing a phenomenal job out here. We'll see if that's going to help him pick up some pace here and maybe catch up to Matthew Rice, who's almost a second up the road. Oh, and we got David McCord off track.
That one almost certainly will bring out a caution, as we have one car rolled over, one car in the infield. And who is that there?
That's Liam McNeil upside down.
That's Liam McNeil. No caution
it's
yet.
far enough off track, so it stays green.
Yeah. Credit iRacing for that one. There's the yellow flag, as I believe Liam McNeil took a little bit too long to get back up to speed, or maybe David McCourt did. But either way, we have our first caution flag on lap number 7.
Yeah, we'll take a second to look back at what happened there, because that was a wild incident between, it looks like David McCord maybe hit the wall and then came down, but we'll get a chance to take a peek at that.
And that's not a wreck David McCourt can afford, being in second place in the standings right now and having to make up an additional 40 points just to get behind Andrew Serwick. Oh, looks like that might have been a bit of net code. Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, so a little bit of an incident. Liam McNeil running high, though, out of the turn. You can see goes a little bit too far and makes some contact. Yeah, netcode a little bit at play, but it looks like because he got the tap in as well. And then you see Liam McNeil just rolling around on his lid for a little bit.
Well, that brings us to our first caution of the day and our first sponsor read of the day. Did you know, everybody, that the most prolific, most popular, and most powerful driving academy in Europe has entered the sim racing market? That's right, Driver 61 is a sponsor of the Apollo Racing Club IndyCar iRacing series, and we actually have a discount code for you if you want to go to their shop at driver61.com. You can use the code ARC Driver61. That is ARC Driver61. No spaces. And that'll get you 25% off all of their services, and they really do have a lot of great teaching services over there. I highly recommend using them.
We got a couple laps here to go under caution. We have 3 cars coming in, maybe to just top off fuel here for that fuel run, as we were talking earlier. Going to be a bit of a stretch, some strategy going in here. So 8 laps in, we have Gregory Shaw, Christopher Norris, and Cody Barrett all choosing to come in for a little bit of extra fuel.
They're not going to mind, especially if we get a whole bunch of cautions. Maybe they can make it. It is a 32 to 35 lap window, and if we get just caution after caution after caution, as we are so prone to see with ARC restarts, they might have made a good choice there.
The promising side is, though, that we did manage to get 8 green flag laps, and even though there were a couple people running tight, maybe getting a little loose, even with Joseph DuPont getting into the wall, we managed to keep a lot of those cautions out. So we'll see if we can get another nice run like that. If they can string together a couple runs, that might be able to help them to be able to short pit later. We'll have to see.
Indeed, we will see, but we might be getting the 1 to go sign this time by. I certainly hope so, for a restart on lap 11.
Looks like we will. Yep, lights are off.
Lights are out. Lights are out, and that will be it. 11 laps in is when we will get our first restart of the day. Now, Alex, like I said, I alluded to this. Restarts have a tendency to breed restarts in any oval, but ARC seems to have a special problem with that.
Yeah, it tends to be a little bit of an issue trying to jump the starts, trying to predict where other people are going, and we just have times where people run into each other. I mean, even also with cold tires, trying to keep the tires warm under pace laps. But I mean, this track a little bit warmer could help a little bit. But you can see like Jake Jackson is back there swerving, trying to warm his tires, and some of the other guys further back doing so as well.
And you can see that Tanner Long, or sorry, Andrew Serwick is actually in the lead. He's just riding the bottom and saving as much fuel as possible. I really can't blame him.
Yeah, not at all. I mean, you got to do the best you can to save it. He's been riding that bottom line. That shorter distance around the track will also help a little bit. But up to the wall we go, getting ready for our restart. Pace car will be off here in just a short moment.
Well, folks, get ready for a very tense restart as Andrew Serwick is going to wait, and gets the jump. Maybe he's still waiting. There we go. Wait, makes Tanner Long bite on it a little bit and then gets a good start. Tanner Long just not quite quick enough to get right up on his bumper, but he is still very, very close and close enough to get that slipstream. And looks like everyone's going to get through turns 1 and 2. Okay, that's a big pack in the back.
Everything bunched up real quick, and you see Tanner Long. That draft is so useful here, coming around that backstretch. It's a long backstretch, and he's able to slingshot himself into the lead on a similar move that Andrew pulled earlier. But here he goes onto the inside of Tanner Long into turn 1. He's going to have a nice dive. He's going to try and get that down to that bottom lane, and he's going to be able to pull off that move nice and cleanly. Don't be surprised, though, if Tanner comes back at it for another path into turn 3.
Yeah, these two are battling back and forth. But you know who's really laughing about that? Conley, right behind him. He sees these guys battling back and forth and jockeying for positions, and he knows that that the tires are just wearing away like crazy as well. They're not saving any fuel by doing that, so maybe he can go for an overshoot. Maybe he can be just faster overall on speed as well with those tires.
Yeah, and even looking back a little bit further, you have another big battle. It seems like everybody pairing off here on the restart. Jake Jackson, DeAndre Young going at it. Jake Jackson, he's been running really wide on those exits. It's almost dangerously wide as he gets to be pretty close to the wall each time.
If he's comfy with it, then he's comfy with it.
Absolutely.
Really can't knock him if it's working for him.
And going back a little bit further, we have battle for 11th place, Craig Bray and Gregory Shaw. And Gregory Shaw, one of those guys that came in to take some fuel early. Really close there as Craig Bray comes down, almost making contact. Side by side, out of turn 2. Gregory Shaw's got the inside and should be able to get a nice run through 3 and 4 if he can stick it down low.
Trying to make a run down on the inside. Is he going to be able to make it? They touch! He's going to back off now, recognizing he might have dug a little bit too deep, and now he's in danger from behind.
Cody Barrett really sticking on that inside, but the tires starting to wear out. Those inside passes are going to be much harder to make at this point because it's going to be hard to maintain that speed down low like you did at the beginning of the run. Moving ahead here in the pack, though. Jake Jackson, Matthew Rice, and Brock Whiteman all pretty close. You can see just how tight they are as Brock Whiteman. He's been making several moves here tonight. 7 positions up. If he can get around Jake Jackson, that would be 8 spots up.
He is really moving here, and great to see Mark Feeney doing good things. But Andrew Serwick and Tanner Long continue to juke back and forth for position at the front. Everyone in the back, everyone in the rest of the pack continues to do so as well. And still, RJ Conley and DeAndre Young just kind of waiting to see if there's an incident between Andrew Long and Tanner Serwick. Or Tanner Long and Andrew Serwick. I got that completely backwards.
That's all good. Hey, Conley actually, he has just been like minding his business. He actually has the fastest time of the race on the last lap. And he's a good, like, 0.05 of a second faster, but he's just sitting there just minding his own business. and intentionally keep it at least a half-second gap in case these guys slip up.
Everybody kind of settling out a little bit as we see some battles kind of starting to stall. You said it yourself, the tires are starting to wear, the inside's starting to become less of a powerhouse as they can't really stick it inside anymore. So we're going to start to see a little bit of single file racing until we get to that first pit stop of the day.
Yeah, that's where things are really going to get interesting because you're going to see strategy come out, timing for pits. And the other thing, too, to make note of when it comes to pitting, the drivers have to go in on the apron into turn 3, a little bit different than what we usually do for ovals.
There was a tire on my screen that just kind of went up and then back down. I was like, wait a minute, was there contact somewhere?
Nah, looks like we're all good. Craig Bray is trying to make a run at Cody Barrett, but not going to be able to pull it off. Even further ahead here, though, Brock Whiteman has now worked up to 5th place with Matthew Rice. Not going to let him have it easy. So for Brock Whiteman, moving around on the outside line, is that been what's his source of speed? Is he able to just make that high line work so well? Is it maybe something he's doing in the car for adjustments? It's able to get him faster. What's he doing to be able to just outpace almost everybody on the field?
Well, he's probably made some bar adjustments. And if you're on the outside, you can probably adjust the bars to tighten it up a little bit. He might have also gone a little bit negative on his weight jacker as well. Because if you're on the outside, you don't quite need to be turning as sharply, which means you can avoid scrubbing off speed by, again, changing the bars and changing the weight jacker so you're not having to turn as much. And I think that's exactly what we're seeing from him and how he's able to just get so much pace up on the top. Then again, he may also be actively managing them as we start to see him duck down to the bottom a little bit more now.
Yeah, it's interesting to see him adjusting his line because he's been running that top the whole entire time, and he's been able to make several moves up 9 spots now, our biggest mover so far of the day. We got Craig Bray trying to go at Cody Barrett again, just can't seem to pull it off, but Jake Jackson has really fallen off here.
The battle between Tanalong and Andrew Surwick, I see, has also kind of calmed down a little bit up front. Further back in the pack, they're starting to scrunch up together with the lack of passing availability and making it very, very difficult to get a run. Around the outside might be the only way to do it, as I believe we're looking at, that's Harrison, I believe, or is that, no, it's Cody Barrett, excuse me.
Yeah, Harrison's a little bit behind.
Yeah, it's Cody Barrett who's trying to make the run around the outside, and he might get it done. He does get it done.
Yeah, you got a whole bunch of guys back here between Jake Jackson and Mark Harrison, Charles Bertrand, the last guys on the lead lap after those wrecks. But Jake Jackson, tires must have burnt up on him because he's dropped all the way to the back of the lead lap now at this point. But I mean, that high line, as we saw, several guys making that pass happen, and now Mark Feeney and Gregory Shaw going at it. Gregory Shaw up 6 spots. He's made a couple moves here himself, trying to see if he can push in to the top 5. He's done very well since joining, having some very solid finishes, top 5s and top 10s. Mark Feeney, though, we'll see if he can get in the draft and catch back up.
Well, he's definitely going to try, but he has been falling off quite a lot, like you said. Front, I see Tanalong and Andrew Surwick heating back up a little bit again, but Brock Whiteman and Matt Rice still kind of jockeying around for that 5th place position. And, you know, this is what I like to see. I like to see this long, drawn-out green flag stretch, and we might even get to see some green flag pit stops here.
Yeah, and I don't know if I can't remember if we did for Indy, if we ended up having some green flag stops, but this could be some of the first green flag stops at an oval that we have, and that's where things really get interesting, because you have to figure out when you need to go, how you get down to speed. You want to time it, but you don't want to spin it out. There's a lot that goes into making a green flag stop, especially when you're going 200 miles an hour into the pit lane.
Yeah.
And Matthew Rice is
At-
actually into the pits.
oh, is he going to come in early? Yes, he is. Matthew
So he's in a
Rice,
short
he
pit.
can. Well, he can go to the end from here. This isn't exactly a short pit. He can go to the end, but he's banking on no one else trying to overrun it.
It'll be interesting. So he's probably going to go a lap down here as the leader's coming around to the front stretch. And he is still in the pits. But he's going to get full service. So he'll come out on fresh tires. Expect him to be really quick here. He's going to probably be in traffic as well, depending on where the rest of the field is when he comes out. But it seems like things, yeah, really slowing down up here at the front between Tanner Long and Andrew Surwick. And the rest of the field is leveled out a little bit. Jake Jackson now diving into the pits as well. So we have our second taker on pit stops.
Starting to see some differing strategies shape up, and I love to see that. You can bet that Tanner Long and Andrew Surwick, they're going to be pitting together no matter what. And neither one wants to let the other out of their sight. And this might be the battle for the lead in the end of it. I believe that's Gregory Shull and Matt and Feeney, Mark Feeney, that we're currently looking at. And this is a battle for sixth. So just outside the top five, and it's not much of a battle at the moment as they are starting to fall away from each other.
Yeah, Mark Feeney's been trying to keep up. I mean, his biggest saving grace has probably been the draft at this point, because he's just fallen off a little bit. But it's not too bad. He's able to at least keep pace here with Gregory Shaw. We have another taker in the pits. That would be RJ Conley. So slowly, drivers coming on in. But again, the battle for the lead has been really, really tight. The rest of the field is pretty much fanned out, aside from a couple drivers within a second of each other. But now with pits coming in, that's really going to shake up the order. A caution could be very, very risky for these drivers who have come in early. But as you said it, from here to the end, you're most likely good on fuel.
Yeah, if you take it now, you can go 32 to 35, and 35 requires a little bit of fuel saving, but not a whole heck of a lot. So they're good to, anyone who pits at this point is just 100% good on fuel.
We got Mark Harrison and Craig Bray battling out for what is currently P8. We lost Mark Harrison there for a little bit. But this is about, I think, if I remember correctly, around P12 before pit stops. So these guys up a good handful of spots. But we'll see how their pit strategy plays out. But with this track, as we said, the tires wear really quickly. So you never know. If you push too hard on those fresh tires, it might end up being a hindrance than it is a help. But you never know. We have Charles Bertrand now into the pits. It's been a really good oval racer, just has had a couple strings of bad luck lately.
Well, at this point, we're reaching a bit of a lull right before our pit stops. So at this point, folks, we're going to talk about our other sponsor tonight, and that is Grid Finder. Grid Finder is one of the only premier websites on the internet to look for racing leagues in whatever sim you choose to race them in. Obviously, iRacing is the best, but they have others for various other simulators as well. Let's have, of course, ACC, F1, and they even have some console leagues like Gran Turismo and Forza as well. So, if you are looking for a league, go to grid-finder.com. And in fact, the Apollo Racing Club is a Grid Finder approved league on there. Very elite status. Look for Indycar open wheelers and you'll see us right up front. So that is grid-finder.com. Find your next grid now.
We're moving on to lap 35 now. Andrew Surwick and Tanner Long have been battling it out for the league for quite a while. You go further back in the pack, you've got DeAndre Young. He is all by himself. He's got 4.5 seconds up the road. He's got 3.5 behind him to Brock Whiteman, who then has another 5 seconds back to 5th place, which is now Gregory Shaw battling with Cody Barrett. So Shaw has made his way through the field, now up 8 spots. Cody Barrett up 11. You also have to keep in mind, some of these guys still have to come in for a pit stop, and it's looking like those three that pitted early, Shaw, Barrett, and Norris, are not going to be able to make it to the end at this point because we have yet to see another caution.
And honestly, at this point, I'm wondering if we're gonna see another caution. We might see a one caution race tonight. That would be huge for ARC, as I don't think we've seen a one caution race in, well, one caution oval race
But we haven't
in
this season.
forever. Yeah, definitely not this season. I know we didn't last season, and I think it's probably been a couple seasons since we have. So that would be massive and quick night for everybody.
Well, things are getting really interesting up here at the front. Now 36 laps on this fuel run on these tires for everybody in the top 8 now. They have yet to pit except for Cody Barrett and Gregory Shaw. Craig Bray and Mark Harrison now into the pits, and it looks like it's going to be Tanner Long making the first call. Andrew Serbic going to stay out here.
Is he trying to overcut? Is he going for the overcut? And he's staying
Looks
out
like he
another
might
lap
be.
too, yeah.
I don't know, we're
I
going to
think
stay
he's-
on him here and see if he will.
Well, he stayed out that lap. Is he gonna come in this lap? He's got to be running low on fuel at this point. That
He has to
caution,
be. Everybody else has come in at this point.
that caution bought him a little bit of time, but not a ton. And yeah, unfortunately the fuel indicator is not working. He is going to drop down and go for a pit, and he is. I believe Tanner Long is actually still in the pit.
Yes, he is. Yeah, so far,
He just left.
everybody else
He
went
just left.
in. Cody Barrett and Gregory Shaw, your provisional 1-2 at this point. They came in lap 8, that first caution to take a little bit of fuel, top it off. So the tires are going to be rather interesting at this point of the race. They're both still running very well. Only a maybe half a second at most off of their best times prior in the race. So looking really good for them. But 1, 2, 3 is Gregory Shaw, Cody Barrett, and Mark Feeney.
That's only for now, though, as they were the ones who pitted earlier, but they're going to have to pit again if this continues to go green, because they pitted on what, lap 9, I believe. Yeah,
9 or
they
8.
won't.
But Mark Feeney
they won't
hasn't
have
pit
enough
yet either.
So he's going to have to come in basically now,
Yeah,
unless he's
he
been
doesn't have any fuel left.
seriously saving fuel.
That'll be interesting. We'll see what he does here. Looks like he's staying out for another lap. Oh, no, he's coming on in. He was going to see if maybe he could get lucky and get a caution or something possibly, but looks like he's going to have to finally come in.
Yep, no, he is going to make his way into pit road, and with him, I believe we've had everybody who has made at least one pit stop. Shaw, Barrett, and
real good.
yeah, Shaw and Barrett still out front, as they have already made a single pit stop, and that's real close to contact there between Shaw and Barrett, but we still race on.
Yeah, we saw Mark Harrison dive on the inside. He's trying to get his lap back. And now on the outside goes Cody Barrett. Will Shaw be able to hold him off, though? He's 3 wide between a lap car and Cody Barrett. But he managed to hold on. Cody Barrett's going to have a heck of a run coming off that top side.
Still looking for that outside run is Barrett. 3 wide as they get around the lapped car below. What a run Barrett gets out of these corners, but he's just not able to find a way around Shaw, especially with Shaw using that lap car as a pick. That is huge.
Yeah, that is a great strategy there, using the lap car to his advantage. In the lap car, Mark Harrison not able to get around either. That's the problem. He's got the fresher set of tires, just can't make them stick at this point. But just great driving, great strategy here from Shaw.
Look at David McCourt behind. He's looking to try and get his lap back. Maybe banking on a caution coming out, but it's going to be really tough for him to get that back at this point, as Barrett gets a huge blink. Because David McCourt, he's going to have to come into pit here basically now. His last pit was on lap 6.
Yeah, which things are going to be running short here for Barrett and Shaw as well. Oh, Mark Harrison off there. Not going to bring out the caution, though, as he is on the infield. But that, using Mark Harrison, gained Gregory Shaw about a half second, which is pretty nice. And even looking a little bit further back, this battle has not gone away, even through pit stops. Andrew Serwick and Tanner Long are neck and neck, just going back and forth.
Yeah, assuming this race stays green, this is going to be the race for the win. Because everyone ahead of them is going to have to pit. Shaw and Barrett, they have to pit again. They're coming up on another pit stop here very shortly, in fact.
Yeah, they should be coming in very soon. Looking a little bit further back, you got Brock Whiteman fighting with David McCourt. And Brock Whiteman's done a phenomenal job. David McCourt, at this point, is just trying to see if he can save and pray for a caution, but it does not seem like we're going to get one. The racing has been very, very clean tonight.
Yeah, it's just been a minor contact, and even then, I think Netcode had some had a hand in that wreck and how it was. You have Gregory Shaw and Cody Barrett entering the pits. That'll cycle Tanner Long and Andrew Serwick back around to the race lead as soon as our timing catches up with it. There it is. They'll pass him, and 15 to go. It's going to be a battle between these two leaders, Andrew Serwick and Tanner Long.
Yeah, and they've got a massive lead over the rest of the field. 10 seconds to Brock Whiteman. And David McCourt's going to have to come in, but still, they've done a phenomenal job just going back and forth, keeping it clean all race long. Unfortunately, it seems like RJ Connolly had some issues after the pit stop. He is now, I believe, 3 laps down.
That is unfortunate. RJ Connolly was up front basically the whole time. Don't know if there was some contact there that made them slow down a bit, but RJ just not having a great race.
So Gregory Shaw, Cody Barrett, both out of pits. It looks like they're going to come out 5 and 7 on the field. So definitely a good game for both of them, considering they were back fighting around 10th place or so earlier in the race.
Well, as we whittle down these last couple laps, we'll remind everybody we will not be here next week. We have an off week next week to allow our guys in the IndyCar League to go and run in the iRacing Indy 500. Fixed is this weekend, but next weekend is the big thing, the Open Indy 500. A lot of our guys will be participating in. Check out the socials if you want to see who is going to be in it.
Are you planning on running the Indy 500 this year?
Yeah, I'm planning on running the fixed and open, honestly. Fixed, I did a qualifying session and I was in the high 38s.
Jeez, I ran it the other day just to play around with it. I can't get down.
Yeah, that's a very fast qualifying.
I think when I ran it, I had about 41 seconds. I was not good. I didn't run it as a qual, but I ran it just as a practice, just to see how things would look, and man, it is much tougher than it seems.
And I believe we have somebody who's trying to barge their way into our commentary box, but the guards won't let them sit around here. So we're going to be crossing the 10 to go next time by. And this battle between Tanner Long and Andrew Serwick has not settled down the entire race. These two have pretty fresh tires. Okay, not fresh, but they have middling tires. They're going to be good to go to the end. So this is going to be a battle on pure speed, and this is going to be one for the record books.
Yeah, this could come down to a photo finish. 3 of our 4 races here at Michigan International Speedway have resulted in a photo finish, and this definitely seems like it's going to be a 4th one. Andrew Serwick looking to be back-to-back winner. He has been just the oval master here this season for ARC. He's taken 2 of the 3 oval races at this point. See if he can make it 3 of 4.
Andrew Serwick actually won here last season and actually got a photo finish to edge out Jake Jackson, who is not doing too good today, back in P12 at the moment. Got caught out on some strategy calls.
But Brock Whiteman now trying to make the move here for 3rd place to make himself onto the podium. He got around DeAndre Young, But as we've seen, that top side coming off the turns has so much power, especially if you can get in the draft. You can just make such a quick move as we see right there. But I expect Brock Whiteman to keep going back and forth with him. These two might be fighting all the way to the end, just like our leaders. They continue to just leapfrog each other.
We'll have to keep an eye on that one as it develops. That's a big move by Whiteman, though, and he's going to take the third place spot for now. We're reaching about the end of the point where the tires can make a bottom line move stick. So Whiteman better be thankful that he got that one done when he did. But he has been charging hard up through the field this entire day.
Yeah, giving himself 10. If he gets third place, 11 spots gained. He is the biggest mover on the day. Cody Barrett, the other one, he's got himself 10. He's done a very good job as well, working his way up the field, especially from not qualifying. And now we see things up front. Andrew Surwick starting to space himself out a little bit from Tanner Long, but not really. It's only at the most 3/10. You can see Tanner Long taking that inside line, gains himself a whole 10th around the corner. Actually carries a lot of speed out of turn 2.
Trying to make a move down on the inside. This is, like I said, the point where the tires are going to start falling off and not allowing that inside move as easily. And as expected, he's not going to be able to make it stick. That's going to give Andrew a massive run out of 4. 5 to go.
Things getting very
both of
interesting.
both of these battles for first and for third heating up drastically.
Yeah, Brock Whiteman, Deontre Young have been side by side for about 3-4 laps now. Honestly, this fight a little bit closer than the fight for the lead, but that could be a strategy call on Tanner Long. Trying to just hold back, save those tires a little bit longer to be able to have a little bit extra punch on the final 2 laps. They should be coming around for 4 to go. So the race definitely heating up, and we're hoping to see a photo finish, as they're always the most exciting.
Yeah, honestly, Tanner Long, if I'm him, I'm just sitting there for a moment, rolling that outside line for a bit, saving up my tires as long as possible to see if I can make an inside move stick on Andrew Surwick in turn 4 of the last lap.
Yeah, this one, though, this battle really, really good. Surwick still holding on to the lead here as he come around for 3 to go. They've got some lap traffic with Christopher Norris in front. You can see Andrew Surwick tries to get in that draft. Maybe even use him as a pick, but it's not going to work as he gets out of the way. And Tanner Long, not going to opt for the move down low. He's just waiting his time. We'll see if he makes a move here with 1 or 2 to go. Oh, there's an opportunity there.
The time for that move is coming up here very, very shortly. As you said it, we're going to be crossing by for 2 to go here at the ARC Michigan, right before the bye week. And what an exciting race we've had so far. No, one caution. One caution in an ARC race. Can you believe it?
No, definitely not after what we've seen this season. But the race, I mean, the drivers have done a very good job of keeping the racing clean. And we're coming around 1 to go. Tanner Long takes the inside. And it's going to be a thriller here to the checkered. They're going to take the white this time by.
Tanner wants to have that front spot as they come back around. He's expecting Andrew to take the spot here going through 1 and 2. And then he's hoping he can make the move stick in 3 and 4. This is going to be a final lap shootout for the history books here, folks. Andrew Surwick and Tanner Long. And by the way, production, get ready to switch to that battle for third right after this one ends. Right around the outside goes Tanner Long. He's going to have the advantage out of 4. This is going to be a drag race to the finish here. Will a block be thrown? No, Tanner Long tries to duck down. Andrew Surwick won't let him have it. It's a drag race to the finish. Andrew Surwick by 0.02 of a second. Flipping back to Whiteman and Young now. Whiteman actually has it fully in the clear. He's going to roll up. Young is going to be lucky to keep a hold of 4th. I don't think he's going to be able to do it. Whiteman and Young cross the finish line in 3rd and 4th. Charles Bertrand rounding out the top 5. But what a drag race to the end. Andrew Surwick should be proud of himself for the defense that he threw coming out of 4 there.
Man, that was a spectacular finish. Hey, yeah, he took that inside. He was going to fight for that tooth and nail. Tanner Long tried to get down and carry as much speed out of 4 as he could. It just wasn't enough because of that curved front stretch. it allowed Serwick to have a little bit of an edge because he had shorter track to work to the finish line. Great drive from both these guys, keeping it clean. 50 laps. They were just wheel to wheel the entire time.
The rest of the field coming around now, and we do have our final results of the night. Andrew Serwick gonna take the top spot, his third win of the season. Tanner Long, wait,
Wait, hang on, that's
what?
not the right ones for some reason. Sorry about
Oh,
that.
hey, that was the qualifying result. The feature
There
result.
we go.
That's the one we wanted. Andrew Serwick getting that top spot. In first place, Tanner Long throwing up a massive effort on that last lap, but just wasn't quite able to make it stick out of 4. Brock Whiteman rounding out our podium, as Whiteman and Young, who's in 4th, had a massive fight over the course of the race, and Charles Bertrand rounding out the top 5.
And Cody Barrett worked his way up quite a bit, 11 spots, as well as Whiteman to get P6. Craig Bray up to 7th. Mark Feeney, 8th place. Gregory Shaw, he moved up to 9th. And to round out our top 10, we have Mark Harrison.
Matthew Rice going to be in the 11th spot. Jake Jackson in P12. Christopher Norris in P13. David McCourt in P14. Liam McNeil in P15. RJ Conley, disappointing day for them. Going to round out P16 on the day. And Joseph DuPont with an early wreck is going to be in 17th. Well, folks, that's the end of the race, but stick around. We're going to be right back with some interviews for our podium. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
All right. This time we're not.
Welcome back, everybody. It is time for the interviews with our podium tonight. In third place, we have our first podium interview. Brock Whiteman, the hard charger of the night as well. Great job coming up 11 spots after qualifying to place in P3. What happened in qualifying that set you so far back?
It was just a 0x, tap the wall out of 2, and with this format, it cancels your lap. So I think the lap I set would have put me like 6th or 7th. So I kind of knew that's where I should have been the whole time. And obviously, I was up there after the first caution. So, but I mean, to finish on the podium, it's starting way back in the field. It's very weird.
Yeah, indeed. Oh, go ahead, Alex.
So all along, was your strategy to ride the high line? Because every time we kept popping back to look at you, we saw you charging through the field. We see you riding that high line and carrying just so much more speed than the other drivers.
Yeah, when the thing about the Indy cars is that you always want clean air on your front wing, because that gives you the most downforce and grip. And I mean, anytime they were running that low, first lane or second lane, and they were all in a train, I was like, well, I'm just gonna run the high line. I mean, I think me and Cody tried to put some grip down, or at least some rubber down on the high line in practice, so I knew it was gonna work. I just didn't think it was going to work that well, because I mean, it even surprised me how many positions I was able to pick up before the first caution came out.
Well, yeah, and that was a massively just caution-free race. We had one caution throughout the day, so that just kind of allowed you a ton of breathing room. And we did notice that you were rocking that top line a lot throughout the day. Was that the plan?
Yeah, I knew the top line was always faster because you come off with banking, you come off a little hill on the high side, on the straightaway. So usually, I mean, the only way I can really put it, because I race more NASCAR than I do Indy cars, if you watch them coming out of 2 and 4 in the super speedways, the top line always has the run out of the corners, but going into the corners, it's usually the bottom line because it is a shorter line. So that's kind of where the back and forth stuff happens. But with these cars and the draft and this setup, I mean, you can pass them almost before turn entry. So it's just the nature of running these 2 mile tracks. I mean, Auto Club is a little bit more difficult because it's a little bit flatter, but here in Michigan with the increased banking, it's so much easier to run the high line than it is the bottom lane.
Yeah, especially here where there's so much tire degradation, it really makes it problematic. But thank you very much for joining us in the booth tonight. Congratulations on your P3. Go celebrate.
Yep, well, thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good night, my dude.
You too.
All right. Well, we're going to be getting Tanner Long in here real quick. And yeah, he was rolling that top line pretty effectively.
He was. It was very impressive. And I like the point he made about, like, if you take stock cars to super speedways, if you watch any NASCAR, he's got the right idea. You see that high line, yeah, it's not as fast around the corners because it's the longer line technically, but if you get them into the draft, those cars coming out of the corners have a lot more speed, a lot more momentum, and that's where we saw him make his move time and time again. And even that back and forth between Andrew Serwick and Tanner Long, we saw a very similar thing as they kept just leapfrogging each other around the turns.
Yeah. All right, well, we're going to get our second place in here. We have Tanner Long in for his interview tonight. Tanner, congratulations on that P2. That was a heck of a battle for the finish there. It looked like you tried to go low and then second guessed it. Was that what cost the win?
Nah, I would say it was just, we had an agreement, no racing really till like 3 to go. And Andrew picked the low line, and I didn't feel like I could risk it to go that low. And I wanted to side draft him, but with how bumpy that bottom is, I just couldn't get close enough. I needed the side draft, didn't really feel comfortable doing it, so that was kind of what happened.
Yeah, that was phenomenal racing between you guys the whole time. What was going through your head throughout that race? Was there strategy you were trying to come up with to figure out a way to maybe outpace him? It seemed like at the end, maybe we were holding back a little bit to be able to make a run at the end. Kind of what was going through your head throughout that race?
Honestly, just build the biggest gap possible to P3, get to the pit stop, and then just see what happens from there. And it all went perfectly to plan. I mean, we came out of the pit stops and had a 10-second lead on third place. So, yeah, everything worked out perfect for us. And then we were able to have some fun at the end there and, kind of push each other.
Yeah, and you guys definitely did push each other. So you qualified on P1, had a heck of a qualifying lap too. But yeah, unfortunately didn't end up coming out on top. But Andrew was extremely strong here last season and ended up repeating. Do you have anything you want to say before we let you go here for the night?
Yeah, no, I mean, I thought it was a good race. I felt a little bit like Michael Waltrip to Dale Jr. there at a super speedway, but it was a good race. And I felt like we were very even in pace, and it was just kind of a 50-50 toss-up on who was going to win that one. So overall happy, and it was definitely a good points day for the team and great points day for Andrew in the championship. So
Indeed. All right. Well, congratulations on that second place finish. Go ahead and enjoy it, Tanner.
yeah, thanks guys.
No problem. And now let's get our winner in here for this evening. We have Andrew Serwick in here, and congratulations on the victory and a hard-fought one at that.
Yeah, that was a fun one. Tanner and I just we had a plan and we stuck to it. So I gotta thank Tanner a lot for getting us into that position. We said, you know what, let's battle it out the last couple laps because we had such a big gap, and we said 3 laps to go, may the best man win, and someone had to win it. So yeah, glad it was me for the championship. But yeah, just awesome race all the way around.
Yeah, you guys did a phenomenal job. The leapfrogging back and forth, keeping it clean for so long. One thing we found interesting up here in the booth was the choices stay out for an extra lap whenever we saw Tanner Long go in for the pit stop. What was the strategy behind that?
It was really just a matter of not ruining each other's races. We
Fair enough.
we said if we wanted to, ideally we would have pitted at the same time, but we didn't practice pitting in together in practice. So we said, you know what, it'll be a lot safer just to go separately. And eventually, we worked it out, and he ended up catching me on my out lap anyways. So it was just perfect all the way around.
Well, that's good to hear. So you actually had the fastest overall lap, or fastest single lap in qualifying, but average lap was a bit slow, putting it back in P3. What was the cause of the average lap going wonky?
Just matter of just scrub too much speed coming out of turn 2 there in qualifying on the second lap, and it just killed my momentum from there. The rest of the lap was really good, but yeah, just scrubbed a little too much speed coming out of 2, and that cost me the pole. But at the end of the day, Tanner and I were able to get the jump on the initial start, and we never looked back.
Well, you definitely never look back in this race. So congratulations. Massive props to you. And yeah, is there anything else you want to say, especially considering that you now have an even more dominant points lead?
Yeah, just I'm real excited with that. Back-to-back wins at the home track always feels good as well.
There you go.
So yeah, but again, a big thanks to Tanner to help me get that bigger lead in the championship. He definitely deserves a ton of thanks for that. So I can't thank him enough. And yeah, just I'm excited heading into the break, and then Barber in 2 weeks. So looking forward to it.
Well, we are certainly looking forward to it as well. In the meantime, go enjoy your break week and enjoy the win as well.
Yep. Thank you, guys.
All right, folks. Well, that's all we're going to have here from the Apollo Racing Club IndyCar iRacing series tonight. Once again, we are off next week, so don't bother tuning in next week. But the week after that, we go to Barber Motorsports Park for the Grand Prix of Alabama, the IndyCar iRacing series version. So come back in 2 weeks, same time, same channel, right here on twitch.tv/Apollo Racing Club or youtube.com/Apollo Racing Club. From Keegan and Alex in the booth, to everyone out there, have a good night.